Hello and welcome back to another edition of Grand Campaign on Ultimate Difficulty. And this time we are taking a look at Lodge. So let's switch into the game. Setup already prepared. But before we start here, I want to talk about a few different things. First of all, I want to apologize for cancelling the last stream on Sunday on short notice. I had a terrible cold and was sneezing every couple of seconds, so that's pretty impossible to do a stream. I hoped it would work out, but it didn't. So we will hopefully be able to, or I will hopefully be able to do it this Sunday. Next, there is another thing I wanted to talk about because there has been a lot of discussion about my Poznan scenario where I did the decisive victory on Ultimate Difficulty, and Game On really explored some things and had a couple of interesting things he found out, and he also corrected me on some things. For example, there is, it's a little bit difficult to talk about without seeing it. Hi Raycaster, by the way. There is one of the first crucial things you have to take out is this anti-tank unit that's down in the north, or in the south, sorry, down in the south, on the way towards the rail station. And I was saying in the stream that it's of no consequence if you don't take it out in one go. And that was based on my Munchstein experience. But turns out that on Ultimate Difficult there are some... there are some things... Well, there's less room for adaptation, let's call it that way. He pointed out that if you don't destroy it, Rudel or the Stuka you have above the anti-tank unit is in vision range, and because of that the fighter traps don't work out like I planned it. That's something I didn't consider, and he's, I think, totally right. So you need to have some luck in destroying this anti-tank unit, or you have to adapt that in some other way and make do without trapping those fighters in one go. Another thing I said is that auxiliary units most likely won't reinforce, and that was a little bit too generalized. Many of the auxiliary units actually do reinforce, but especially those in cities that are under strengths, that's a huge indicator that those are auxiliary units and won't reinforce, but you can't generally say it's that way. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. And without further ado, let's take a look at Lodge here. On Ultimate Difficulty we have 8 turns to do it, so this time I'm pretty sure that a decisive victory is completely out of question here, but I have some nice tricks prepared. As usual, we'll do, let's call it the Lieutenant Joker maneuver. Try to circumvent all the defenses and attack them from the back and gain as much victory locations as possible. So this time we will go into our Rommel mindset, wandering around in the back lines and do risky maneuvers. Priority will be to gain as much prestige as possible, and at the same time I've already started to work on my core to develop it towards Warsha. So I bought a second fighter. This is a completely green one because my goal is to have 2 fighters at least at 1 star. Other than that, we have our usual composition, nothing changed here. Dumping some prestige and overstrengths on the artillery. And for the rest of the units, I'm simply working on gaining more experience. So, without further ado, let's start into it. And by the way, if you have any questions, dump them in the chat live or later on YouTube. I will take a look at all of them. So, yeah. First, that's nothing special. Driving this first unit out of here, and because it's on the other maps we already discussed that it's crucial to take, well, to reduce the luck factor here. So I'm already preparing to encircle this unit so I have maximum mass attack bonus, and that's why I moved the tank first, because otherwise zone of control of this unit would prevent me from moving past it. So that's a neat little trick. And now we have 3 units on it. Attacking with the northern tank first, because in case it retreats, I can still attack. And then the only thing we have to do is rush forward. Well, one moment. Let's stop again. Yeah, make sure to cross this difficult terrain here as quickly as possible. It's tricky, and here the tanks are really helpful because they have an easier time on the track, on the rail line, and in the forest. The trucks are very cumbersome in here, and a small force will try to take out Siraj and hold back the Polish counterattack here. Probably getting Lusk as well, and obviously trying to capture this target down here because this will give us Oladir. And probably not going to attack here because we simply don't have the forces. I would like to get more prestige by taking it, but that doesn't seem to be possible. Yeah. Artillery has to go down first. So I'm focusing a lot of artillery. One moment. The replay is jumping around a little bit. Yeah, here I'm not initially attacking into it because it's too risky and you can't count on suppressing those things enough. You might get super lucky, but don't count on it. And initially I'm concentrating a lot of artillery on this city because, there will be a traffic jam up here anyways, and I can use, once I've cleared the rail connection, I can send this artillery via rail transport to catch up with the rest of the troop. Yeah, getting Oladir down here and already working on an entrenchment wherever I can. So then there's another neat little trick around here. On the other difficulty levels, I noticed that my Panzer II always gets destroyed because I can't get him out of here quickly. So now I'm hiding him down here and hope that he survives. It's not necessary that he survives, but he might come in handy later. And this way it's possible to get out of here without losing any units. So, first Polish turn. No. Still me moving. Now it's the Polish turn. Yeah, doesn't matter if we take damage here. They're simply moving. And special reinforcement unit has arrived. So let's take a look at the situation. This should go totally unnoticed. Here I'm just retreating, trying to form a strong line around here, and those units are here to delay the enemy so that I have time to take possibly both targets. So Oladir is getting sent upwards. He will help clearing out that city, and then I probably will send him through the forest. Here I'm already setting up units in the rail stations so I can rapidly ship them upwards. De-entrenchment. Setting up so I can de-entrench next turn. And then we have to break this city. Concentrating a lot of artillery around here. Simply to, make sure I don't take damage. No risk taken, and here I will try to soften up this target. Might be possible to get it. The de-entrenchment was necessary to force it out of here. Now we can move rail transport already forward. Don't care about him, he is an auxiliary unit. And one moment. Hi Goose. I don't understand the question. We are at large ultimate difficulty. And yeah, around here, always moving units into the rail station. So I have, on the start of the turn, always one unit ready to get shipped out of here. And like I said, up here it's very important. We need to use every hex that's available. And yeah, we don't need to destroy him. It's important to just push him out of here so that you can use the rail station. We don't have to own the city, we just need to have room to rush our trains into it. Down here, they don't see the Panzer II, that's good. And yeah, they will go for those tanks, I don't care about them. Out of the rail line and already into the fight. And here we need to set up our units for the next turn already. So one infantry in range. This is reduced to level 3, so I didn't allow it to build up its entrenchment. Now I can bomb it, fire an artillery shot and push it out of here. That's super important because it clears another hex where I can rail transport to. You see, already units are ready. They are just waiting for their chance. And because I'm not going for the decisive here, I'm pretty sure, this time I'm pretty sure it's not possible for large and ultimate difficulty. So, setting up artillery. So I can grab this target also. I'm greedy and I want those 25 prestige. But first, using all the train stations that are available. Finishing off any resistance around here. Always using maximum mass attack bonus if the unit isn't completely suppressed. Well, those are AUX units. That's not as important. Bullet can do without mass attack bonus. So let's recap. No, Goose, I'm going for the normal victory. I don't wanna game the system by losing on purpose. That's something I don't want to do. So, all of my auxiliary units safely got out of here. Panzer II is hiding. Here I will try to build up a defense. Now I only need one piece of artillery to support the defense. Ulladir is on its way to, go the long way up here. And more units are getting ready to get rail transported. Over here, pretty straightforward. We just have to be quick. Yeah, and we lose. If I lose some of the AUX units here, it doesn't really matter. So, now. Not enough suppression, so I need another shot. Still not enough, but enough to pull him out of here. And still works out. He's now damaged enough. And deliberately not taking the city so I can rail transport into here. You don't need to outright destroy them, so there's not really a luck factor involved here. You just need to push him back, and basically clear the way, and eventually he will get destroyed. Taking out this northernmost city because it's empty, it's more prestige from my side. Down here, nothing too dangerous. That's a safe defensive line. Keeping my planes resupplied, and this additional artillery can now be shipped towards our outflanking maneuver. Polish turn again. And here comes my sneaky maneuver. Panzer II waited in the background until the Polish units cleared those cities. I don't know if somebody figured that out, but I think I never saw it before. You can get additional 50 prestige by just waiting a bit and then sneaking your Panzer II into here. And this will be easy to hold. I'm not worried here. Hopefully we can even force a surrender. And we have only 3 turns left. And the plan is to take Piatek, Lovich, the airfield, Glovno, and wow, that's difficult. Brzezinski. So, still a lot of targets to take. And 3 turns for all those 5 targets is ambitious, but I think it will work out. Clearing the rest of the blocking units, working on de-entrenching. Forming already around here so that I have mass attack bonus for next time. And I need to be as far forward as somehow possible because, like I said, we have 3 turns to do it. And I need maximum range of movement. And this is the trickiest part now. So I think this is the crucial part of the map. Trying to cross the Bzura here is super difficult because there's a Tankette waiting in ambush behind here. There are units that are pretty aggressive and will move out of the city and attack you. And I don't have artillery ready to protect any units that are crossing here. So it took me a while to figure out a good way to cross here. And he is on hold position. He will only attack if you get directly adjacent to him. So no need to worry here. But he will attack. So if you put one artillery right here, it's dead. Yeah, still rail transports and Polish are continuing through with their counterattack. They won't have much success around here. Yeah, this is just for building up experience on my units. And purely a delaying maneuver. We have enough artillery ready now to really bust through here. So, pretty unlucky for Oledier. But nothing happened. So let's see. This is... Yeah, you need to have at least one tank over here just to start working on the artillery. Because this is entrenched at level 6. And we have 2 turns to really kill it. So I have to sneak units over here. And for that I need to create a safe zone. So Oledier occupies the forest to block out any attacks from the south and neutralizing this anti-tank unit. Other than that, yeah, artillery is a little bit far to the back, but I can, yeah, use the trucks to get in position over here. Then I just need to worry about this anti-tank unit down in the south. Getting the planes to work because I can't fly from the airfield in one go towards those cities. So I am bombing units here on the way. So that way at least there's not a useless stop in between. And here I'm starting to, yeah, sneakily take away victory locations. That's it. And Goose... No, the North and Fourth, I don't know how they actually... If you actually can activate it, the only thing I know, if you go close to this unit, it will attack. If you leave it alone, it will do nothing. So, again, here I need to protect myself against the Tankette. Because on this turn I already need to position the artillery. So here I will just have to take the blow. Those units, yeah, well, they will just have to take it. Ah, I forgot how I did it. But that's the solution I finally found. Using the scout here to ambush them because they now see this truck. He thinks he can outflank me, but then runs into the scout, and that way you can protect a lot, can prevent a lot of damage. There might be other ways to do it, but that's the best solution I could find. And I know it heavily relies on map knowledge, but on Ultimate, there's no way to do it without map knowledge anyways. But that's a neat little trick, and it solves the problem of the Tankette. So, still rail transporting, and yeah, let's watch. Yeah, not very lucky with the tank, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, there's not much luck involved in this one. I really tried to find solutions where I outplay them rather than depend on rolls. Yeah, he gets away. But I have one scout ready. And one moment. We have one turn to go, and that's the Richard Martin move, where we offer them a target that they can't resist. So this mountain unit will go out, exposes the city, attacks the scout, and exposes the city. We can then sneak around and grab it. There's no way he is entrenched at level 6 without luring him out. You can't take over the city and lose out on 50 prestige. So yeah, I think Richard Martin came up with this move. He survived, but yeah, he won't be dangerous anymore, so I don't care about him. And here I'm just massing artillery to get rid of this final mountain unit and damage this mountain unit enough so that he doesn't blow up my scout on the counter attack. Down in the south, they secured our targets, and here we just need to survive. Yeah, trying to gain as much experience as possible. Here we go. And then we need to get rid of this artillery piece. Onto the river, destroy it. And if you don't destroy it, it doesn't matter, you will just push it back and it can't do anything anymore. De-entrenching. Forcing it out of here. Taking the airfield, and yeah, on the river it's easy to deal with it. And around here we don't need to hold the city. If you keep the scout in here, it's obviously dead. But this way the mountain unit will go into the city and then is forced to attack into the scout. That's extra experience I will happily take. And yeah, I can hopefully finish off this tankette. It provides extra experience for my SE mountain unit. Yeah, looks like it's going to get away. Nope. Down it goes. And I'm deliberately taking the risk of attacking here just to gain more experience. Yeah, works out pretty nicely. And it's pretty cheap to repair the scout. So, marginal victory it is. Let's view the battlefield. and take a look at the unit. So my secondary fighter didn't gain a lot of experience, but we're working on it. First tank has 1 star, so that's already great. He still has to work a bit. The pioneers, well, and I did actually buy pioneers. That's another important point, because I need to have at least 2 pioneers for Warshore, and ideally at 1 star. He, well, had only low risk attacks and therefore did absolutely get, well, pretty much no experience. The Sturmpanzer is at 1 star. Ideally I want to get him to 2 stars. Gebirgsjäger, SE Gebirgsjäger, no, it's the regular. Ah, that's Ole Deer. Ole Deer not at 1 star, but I don't worry for him. High-Pete Mitchell. Next, Gebirgsjäger. I will probably keep the SE Gebirgsjäger, by the way, because I like to have infantry and I don't want to have an all SE tank force. That seems a little bit, yeah, overdoing it as well. Yeah, not at 1 star, but getting there. Stuka doing great. Scout at 1 star, so I will use elite replacements on it. So my plan is to use elite replacements on units that already have 1 star and use regular replacements on units that have not 1 star. So that's the rule. So if you're trying to copy it, I will try to go over all of my units so that you can easily compare. Yeah. Down here, this Wehrmacht infantry I didn't give a truck so that it's cheaper. And the tank unit, well, I'm hoping I can grow its experience around Piatek. But this Gebirgsjäger is doing great in experience, so that greatly helps as well. Yeah, that sums it up. Pretty successful, almost took no damage, but that's not something you always want. For example, the pioneers, if you do more risky attacks, you probably will take damage, but that pays off because you can always use normal replacements and in total you will have more experience on them. But there was simply not an option, so I couldn't do something with them. Yeah, that's it. Next up will be Piatek. If there are no more questions, I think we can finish that up. And yeah, Goose, I don't know when I will be doing Piatek. Probably pretty soon, probably tomorrow, but I will have more time the coming 2 weeks. This weekend I hope I can continue with Rommel and probably will be able to fit in Piatek. You will see an announcement if I can make it. So that's it. Nothing else to tell you about this map. I think it's now pretty well figured out. A lot of people contributed to the strategy. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.